Dina nyansemu no sebio nipa ono omo akwanya on satimi ko anu ntimi nsori opinion ye de entia no enti kev so ye me papa me se me ginidi me dem say last election ye dia na enkoyi.
Let's talk about double agents. Bawumia camp, listen to me carefully. This is my camp. I am a Team Bawumia person. I'm a Team Bawumia person. But you see, we've been making mistakes. And the mistake we've been making is the mistake of trusting people too much. You're trusting Kofododo. There are many people that were part of the Bawumia campaign 2023 that even though they were part of the campaign, they were working against the campaign. There were people who had claimed said they were supporting Bawumia in 2023. But those people, in real effect, they were not supporting Bawumia. They were in and they were giving information to outside people or outside camps. Now, Obit say, and then the typical case study that we are going to use today, Kwesi Kwarteng. Now, Kwesi Kwarteng, now a PRO of Ministry of Education. Okay. But as a PRO, now a part of Team Bawumia. Okay, also. Kasano. Kwesi Kwarteng was on OKFM, I think. And he confessed to something. I'm going to play it for you to hear. He confessed. Now, I don't know what came over him to confess. Listen to what Kwesi Kwarteng said about the times in which he was in Team Bawumia. Listen carefully.
Dina nyansemu no sebio nipa ono omo akwanya on satimi ko anu ntimi nsori opinion ye de entia no enti kev so ye me papa me se me ginidi me dem say last election ye dia na enkoyi because we needed a stronger candidate enti na me say ye boa Dr. Bawumia dia ho de nyina egu so fine nyame boa be ba da enkoyi a what is the next and na me so primaries na me so say primaries in the Ken by Kobe de Kobe winning. I mean, behind the scenes, na your name for Kasafa phone so no more yes or monya de M1.
So you heard him? Now a Team Bawumia person, or no Kwesi Kwarteng there, now or Team Bawumia mu. But whilst he was working for Team Bawumia, now Friend Kofo more Ebia Team Ken mu behind the scenes, when about Bawumia planning you, when about Bawumia planning. Enti ebeya musumu kase ni se muko campaign so mu yese ni se so ono ananum say whilst he was part of Bawumia campaign now omo defo now omo friend for other teams mu and they were leaking our secrets to them. So you will see why ebia ye campaign ye bibia now na boken ebuefu say I'll give showdown. All those calls they were coming from some members of Team Bawumia.
Jubuza their last election, I was more keen than Bawumia. Just
so you hear? Have you heard him? Or say last election, last election, 2023 election, primaries, he Kwesi Kwarteng was more keen than Bawumia. So you ask yourself, say, Unim say you were more keen than Bawumia. Why didn't you support Ken? What were you doing in Bawumia's camp? And now you put it in here. Did you hear that? He said last election, 2023 election, Onu Kwesi Kwarteng was more Ken than Bawumia. Just say he believed in the ideology of Ken. He believes that Ken must win. Now you believe Ken must win. What were you doing in Bawumia camp? They were there to sell out. They were there working against the enemy within. These were the enemies within. And there are a lot of people again around this time, still in the Bawumia camp, playing the same role. There are a lot of people like that currently. That is why for some time I have not been happy. Because ultimately who are there be and be out me say way there or ye juma tiaye.
Yes, so
let's hear again.
Jubusa, their last election, I was more keen than Bawumia. Just say, na New York muno. Let's say be inside the eton said the you also don't go and betray your boss or hurt his feelings.
Mutie.
And then maybe say a question way because now me per se your day 2023 2024.
Yes.
At 2025 2026 you never say ni mienu the one na agada momentum pa.
They said last one the election. Last one they said I mean election almost 137 MPs back. Almost all 6,000.
All right. So that's Kwesi Kwarteng for you. That's Kwesi Kwarteng for you. And team Bawumia, me team. I say in that hole. There are people in the team right now who are selling out to other candidates. Okay? And those people, if you don't find them, and it even happens, say, your boss, Bawumia Winia, they are the same people who will be selling out our secrets to NDC. So when we tell you that Nkrofo be now more NDC, NPP, and they were sabotaging NPP whilst you were in power, you now see. So you now understand why we do election Saturday. On Sunday, Bawumia comes out to, Dr. Bawumia comes out to concede defeat. Then Monday, flyer comes out, Ken 2028. So now you understand why. Because people were inside there and they were working against and they were getting ready for the defeat of Bawumia. That is it. Ebushanfo, send your request. Let's have a conversation.
Because we needed a stronger candidate. Inti na bi say ye boa Dr. Bawumia de ahoden nyina egu so fine. Nyame boa be ye ba anko yi a what is the next? And na me so primaries na me so say primaries no de ka ken ba ko be de ko be wini. Inti I mean behind the scenes na ye name for kasafa phone so ne omo nya so omo nya de emo no. Ndubuza their last election no I was more keen than Bawumia. Just say na New York muno. Let's say be the inside the eton said the you also don't go and betray your boss or hurt his feelings.
And then maybe say a question way because now me per se your day 2023 2024.
Yes.
At 2025 2026 you never say ni mienu the one na agada momentum pa.
They said last one the election. Last one they said I mean election almost 137 MPs di back for echi. Almost all 6,000 appointees di back for echi. Almost all 276 MMDCs di back for echi. This be omu ni omadwen. Constituency executives 17 na okwa be bia upompo so di back for echi. And I don't think that was any proper contested election. I don't think so. This is what we call election. When the equal playing field, level playing ground. Emu daho obi ankobi. I mean, the only mempe we want to say the excesses has also been too much. Some of them has gotten so personalized. Yeah, the nipa home bem and the attempt no, and the attempt they may condemn from all angles. Yeah, so yeah, normally be higher bro so. Dr. Bawumia must be higher and normally be bro so because I know the we are why the album and then me condemn. But this is one of the best contested elections. Sisi Amino can say very open. What I say. Of course, there are two leading contenders. Canada, Japan, Dr. Bawumia. These are the two leading contenders. But Dr. Brian has also changed the dynamics. I think the higher Dr. Brian Champon performs, the lesser Dr. Bawumia's votes become. There is that correlation. It was the Nkofona where the Orchard. So this time we are also having a third force. Unfortunately, my former boss went to me pull be this time around. He said, "One also know Odin Kakra, Otisi mu he started well, but he said Ekona then also perform. And you were engineer so then also perform. But this time around, the election will be. I feel it's a more competitive election, even though the excesses I feel say excesses against a perform Kakra. But I mean, all being all no. Me will GDS strongly say at the end of the day, can Japan will come out victorious.
Maybe some question we say na question we know historical antecedent to be a bako we cry free Bible mu say at the time I was elected Saul. Na onu hompo, but he was elected.
Yes.
And I am told, I stand to be corrected. I say, aside for Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. Baby, not on the prison crime election because so still he won.
Yes.
Mamimbisa, what the campaign watch in campaign mu. of what percentage of influence and effect is campaign to elections?
Oh, say, I mean the biblical history of my analogy Nina was influenced by the resolve of human being, which it was a campaign. Just that it may be a direct campaign. For instance, look at the biblical case of Saul. In the case of Saul, Saul's ascension to the throne. Saul kaya, who's Israel bakosem na mama Israel who is no more mohine. In the case of Israel, no nyankopon na yomohine. But the people of Israel were determined to move in a certain direction. Njomuko who the prophet Samuel says Samuel enko petisi nyame no mo ehene. On that omukwa nyame se there be omukwa nyame se there be ono abedi omo. On the third occasion nyankopon de ono aka so ne koyi so ye de emo. So Saul's ascension to the throne was not all that clean. It was not within the biblical theologians will tell you it was not within the sovereign will of God, but it was within the permissive will of God. But what is the principle I'm trying to outline? The principle is say omanfo ni nyina were determined to move in a certain direction. Say kwa bia nyame mo mu nipa nya de so that itself was a campaign. And me ubusa me dia a friend say ade bia ni ho a it comes out of a vacuum. Ni nyina ye the human resolve. One mo tete abakosema o ye nyina no na ye one mo enipa na na sentin omo so mo pe enipa ma na be de abedi omo se yankopon de so ye de ema omo. That's why I said that when the people are determined to move in a certain direction, there are situations that even God can step aside and almost a second your motion. Even in the last election, certain class of people who hold that power were determined to move in a certain direction. God even stood aside and was seconding the motion. A man Dr. Bawumia a buy. But this time around, what the 2 years ready the same campaign. The people are determined.
Even have sex with his wife.
Because because say 218,000 kwana ekoto for the prime minister na one we are the voter population of 18 million which is 1.2% of voter population of 18 million. When the masses the 18 million obi ase emfa camera I don't know what say but most importantly they say ultimately you still have to campaign. I say say team come say bro. Professor Bernard mo and penifo some of them don't have their permissions to put their names outside. But you can't bank all your hopes on prophecy. You still gotta work. I also call from name party for ne kasa because 2 million okay say me no di kan kasa me say 2 million sere. And 2 million one more 2 million mo dia no. I see ahini atu ayen for no. Okọ no ma pone kakra ye de ama. In the campaign there I strongly believe say election winning na campaign. Election winning a campaign.
Reasons why me
film. You be you after abonim ni attracting. We budget the say you can on muka say boampo no. Who say now the boogie na board you buy. It was public. I no admit to say he's warning and cautioning people in the north. Someone to ma ira Dr. Bawumia nkwana. Wa baba to ama obi a wonye wunya na wonye okrom ni dia. Ontimi no won dey enter ho. And nye boogie na bonkwa. That is what is going on in certain parts of the north. Yekoto aba na ano yekoto aba. Polling stations, the constituencies are Kenya be 98 220 98 votes, 220 votes in Adina. Your church was 0 in the man. And conform what by no can call no.
I will not.
Yeah, on another part. Can call no muyi or more phones ne a ye chere say near Toma at that date is over a date no much video never ho. Our motoma can. None is serial number ni BBI where you such as a authentic. Meanwhile, those polling stations ne constituency Kenya 0. Go for raising concerns here. One was so much dramatic. I don't know, Akoyu Munia, Ama. Let's just say, yeah, I don't know, be intimate can was. But you know, Ken will not allow anybody to blackmail him into silence. I know the Sebi will be Hanka say, Yan Papa mu, say when he way move free, now we move free. Other Sebi will Dr. Bawumia, now no a quarter of month 2023, and I can't for departing. We are not questioning him on his religion. We are not questioning him on his tribe. We are not questioning him on his ethnicity. Asama yeke now is on his performance. Say, well, you data man. Data no chese or quite no NPP abako say no. Wa among the home day. And can raise these concerns. And why any akwa dane na no near the atoa say can say on pay and tough was and also on pay still fasem. In this idea, yeah, share still for before someone come to taken. The crata the animu and chilemu the buyer say entesa. It's not from us. And as they say, they say message be on be received through that ID in free ho. will not even use it again. Not the person of the normal father. But yeah, for Quenya so and so I caution other people on my yes, near the Jatoa, as soon as they said, yeah, after you rather Bawumia. So only one in Casa. One more be no one now way, because no one because me just saw best since our message. But I mean, clearly they stand to benefit from such message. We are brought you subai, and then some more canon now. Chama to be them say now the issue in our temu dangakra. So at the end of the day, he is the ultimate beneficiary, and now Kobuno is her. Kanena Bunu East can na hold anyhow. And so latest research here, he's leading in Blue East. Why? Because Abronye go for who so say party no didn't know to make wasem. And now half for the Bunu Ken has flipped there because of the same Abronye. Yeah, it's good for us, but for the total image of the party, no. So text messages, insightful text messages. Ne me more sorry the attempt there. Because it would no more the attempt no ajobreo.
Okay, away from a statement amodia by debanke. Dear Kwesi, Obo Bugri na Buina, Mamimbisa said, they did come as a surprise to you. And for that matter, no more campaign team, say Bugri na Bu, Okonofa, the standing in the NPP, or Beckham BBC.
There be, I never want. Who say, me Martinez same pay you, maybe school shame. Me first degree me in the same UDS.
Okay.
Now, Nordness and Gophobia or more come who boom papa or more drama home. If you want to incite Nordness at home, and yet on matters of tribe, there be or more come who boom. Yeah, ye ha cry the end be ye cry no, ye cry the end may be on matters of religion. So Nordness and Gopho more come who boom papa and the entity of Muntuamo de who say young kind of crancher minya. There is what we call home advantage in politics. What I say? Okay, Professor Moss.
Yeah.
A bro, course, a central the car say, at the power of you, I do of you. Okay. So Trump, a or Quadicrum catch almost on Montomano. A mammy on the coy. First one, Hillary did the same. Now we did a lawyer on the coy. Kamala. All see the same. Home advantage is nothing wrong. Me a short second Quadicruma or Bacache Central for say and Trina Day. Emma, no, home way they will free. Dr. Duchu was Santa Jobeka, Meboa. Me a minya penny was I more for crying and Dr. Brian Champon. Or no so call you chrome or Becassi and trouble the Emma. There's nothing with home advantage politics. But what is wrong with it? Or be a quite difficult who so no abana fire the Abebusa. In himself, Muniano, Mukromuni, no, any Oka Parliament, members of Parliament or Munina, Moye Makuma Kudubako, one Munina, a support to Dr. Bawumia. Baby also Mukrani edisuma ejadi. Or boss, honorable came support too. My donation we amount. My koto be a pick up amount. My AC amount, my mamma call for your name meet me many because me many men call for 1 million a day. Enter cry. Or my catches me yim, me crum near a day, ama. And I say me yim in your ordinary day, ama. And for Zoni home, maybe our support to support on that line. Identity politics is natural. We call it voter behavior. You will be the soften the catches on Koto Bans and why day. A Koto. You will, or my say you VIP tour, VIP 100 buses to a moon 99 a bomb pie. So young people need driver no you're training no. Now for Holy Spirit and Casamet. We are people of religion. We are people of ethnicity. But the hard drain say, Uber threaten for we no be so be catch any chrome for us out to say. Minianum say na be any pass messia no benting, one more bomb microphone to yes, more idea. Yakoka the audio say the tribalism. But all the other tribalism. Hey, and Honna had drain no. Who catch us here and talk about my and then tribalism. But the air cable had there any tribalism. That is where I have a problem with. And you on that principle, no on that score, no, and it be and they be a money problematic. Say no be on couldn't come can't say and trouble the emano. But Bugrina, boy a party penny. What the chairman pay? And they say quite the Woodia. So and to hine dear, Kibu Quasonia who brass class no maybe class arrow, Kauti now can in a day, ebum. But one was one janessa. I know that my cassette approach in the moon when you say home communion I bed, Yabeka. Because a China fee, you want more intimidating. If you appeal to people to vote for you, there's nothing wrong with it. But situations are more intimidating. A young call for more evidence, better as almost to my Ken. Now, actually, if we are Ken 00 and share them, there are some of them. I assume Muku fear some 2 3 como. Hey, men I make catch out. There are some of him for catch say one more banisho of from the land. Edrusa. And I care who ya obekasa a okwa a chimuno a chibia okoka ho asema almost or tribalism and the mass our message here near the once a year but it do sa the way they so much bro we are sabi you nyanum stay phone kwantimi control NPP account phone kwantimi control NPP not necessarily voter for kwantimi control me nyina be kan ho abom but they me hu ne say menua okay they me hu ne say often at times no you get people one more there a tool weaponize against certain grouping nti emotional blackmail me free hunting and empathy beto abaye dey amame the real issues no nka ho asem me nuanom onom se me yakramoni nti na mo bese yese hwe no ma ntawa mame what is he trying to achieve yese nkramofo nyina mam emeto abama no me nuanom yese me yakristo nti yese emeto abama mame do person yese kristofo nyina abomfu ne enkoto abama no me nuanom yese me yeseremuni nti na yese me deserve no na sabre 2023 contest na anye seremuni na oni akanfo anko then the win here then they also yes so a lot of times Dr. Bawumia can accuse them directly one more foul legend and tribal issues and weaponizing and trying to blackmail everybody into silence but this time around and 2026 the engagement what the bar will discuss based on issues you the more but ye more and benefited from this tribal game no it won't work.
I don't know whether only school of thought ebe ya adwene say bugri na budie ya ode be coupled with the eba ya mudi statement eba ya na ni na age towards one line tribal politics.
Yes.
Now was it a calculated plot to you? And I say from the perspective of Mosha Semne say okay ye be bibi say yenye na bugri na bunzo so mfa mesoso said the be ya bia ebeboa de aba abonten no ne akasa simon
se bugri na bonya kola ana enye ne ekode de ne so onkasa na ko ye liki ye ntimi nye ne ekode ono ane confide na ekasa anu kra won hwe yie it is so hu ze nkofo edidide na ase kwa and I mean the brother Dr. Bawumia team no ya no wose kwa no lumba kan anu abi no nye ne ekoye ono na aka na asem and a babonten and we says as someone near ka ho asem the complaints that we had from your supporters or more than northern part of the country yes ya him for intimidate or more influential people intimidate or more ye threaten be say be harm or no these are evidences to support that nyame na boy na burgi na budi bae o ye kwa o ka che obi say ampa ma one obi a so hwe no obi ankoto amaka ni that is how it came out nye ne ekoye o so wonya kwala na akwache ndi wonka se papa na efi but who say ono papa no ka na adwun eno mo no so nsuro hwie o nti the things he believes in and the things he has been doing and oye say o se bi wote ase onwi obetima frere buzan say ona kan na asadwo na ye de kan na eba yi nyina ontim meka say onim ho hwe na Dr. Bawumia so camp no obi enu obetima condemn say papa ni play tribal politics why because they stand to benefit from it na no mo the message akọ say ye momu kra na ye say mpe ahifu asem enti wo momu na aye o made na sabio so a backfire and ye
na me point na me pese me make e de bisa ne say one encrophobia kwese akire so hu
yes
e de asema babonten e twa ntro tomoso and said that we can walk or hack a compare quickly on Japan campaign system no be the message be a purport say from one aba some message no mun some a play tribal kakra and e be say it could be say e be a plan and strategy and say yemfa hacking ade nomra near the babontin na bugri na bunso so aba beka na ne de na ba be support de ayeyi e de ase bi a ken din no ni aka say so said dia a compare kun yi e na ama bugri na bunso so aba e be ka say minim say the American what must
oh say Ken was the first person that spoke on it publicly what I say
no me po me ka de omo hake na yi no information na no omo de ba ya wo kan wansem
yes
and can it also be say ya hyehyɛ ne sɛ yan ha kene information amra ya the information ba wi na bugri na abu nso abekasa na bugri na abu bekasa said the be ya ye benya support na in the eyes and in the ears of people no maje di say ampa ebe free ken ho because bugri na bukura ba be respond de kura ma yehu say
oh send the adwuma no mo say send the adwuma no mo say o message no mo say I say mo back mo say all accounts should get together and lead the NPP. We cannot allow the minority tribes to continue leading us while they remain their subordinates. Let's take our party back to accounts in the name of Kennedy Japan. Like, which reasonable person would do this?
And it's a bugri na bunzu be kan ya kata.
Or they can respond. So you see how they scheme the things.
But sure, ebi mu say can it also be say ebi na former vice president who say not in a stronghold no as a aginism owing to the results from 2024 elections they said their okay say there are regions bi okra munni any MP seat bia wo be sure say not in kura bi betumi abem and against the home constituency kura no a vote free oba ye nenye no can it also be another dynamics bia camp be introduced to get the people in the north say there by be amomanenka na rana yenim say any message bi anti yemfa we enye bibi to get your attention.
We hear message no mo send in the name of Kenya. I mean, we are looking at a more probable reasoner, quite logical, meeting the test of logical consistency. And when you do that analysis and you realize, say, Ken should be Nipa obey disadvantage with this message. Nipa a better beneficial ultimately will have to be Dr. Bawumia. Because you say, I can vote in the entire Asema and I say same fast Asema. What does it mean? Say same for you protect the will same ni candidate that is the intention of the whole message. But for and then no delegates, they are very sophisticated and very complex. One way very discerning than what we can imagine. Not for no so case ebia ne ho dey but no kre sebi na ho dey dey eba for more. But he will still win the northern parts of the country. Obe me susu say northern region obe win but can be close to Gabon. Northeast ni krom no home regions obe win but can be close to Gabon. Baby a say ne kan wo biti e kese pa wa hwe ne bechemu pe upper west wa side ho no wa ne tumuni ade no but baby to say upper east bo gane boko ne mpatemu ho say wo can be win. The reason is say who say sa omu issues na ho no enye who say sensitivity me pese meka ho asem radio so nti ho say no nobody is trying to benefit from it, but I mean voter behavior no, especially I heard the last election baby a coin how musibo akena e ho say no you say our region is say can be team win nti Dr. Bawumia de na ho de aba form generally me se menye mi suro kra na ka Dr. Brian Champo a put the game kakra bi a ko obetima shock no ko obetima shock no na ho de aba form pa because ensa na kura mu nyina so obi a atwe no ho ana campaign no so no enko so ho campaign enko ana me buy na me di nkomo bi offer but they mean to be fam but campaign enko I mean that campaign enko say no ho
I didn't do my resort to strategies
akwai so obi ensuo fa no uze ensuo fa wa na mu huma nyina ayi ma de obeye bia no bibia behu bia no so mu say yesebio ice water rubber na dem kura na uze wakoso be ice water rubber bia betima chokew ohun enti basa kama mu no twi kase wani so yo krak so wani so yo krak de obehu bia wodo nsabeso because wodo enti basa everything you want to do to your advantage because what the main who said Dr. Bawumia a personality no a very modest and humble personality obi also Dr. de obono Dr. de ne kasa ye kama Dr. de a very humble person meboa but what the hwe na no nkofo edi na cha omo kasa ma no hwe ayi abronya mu Kwesi botwe mu wo de hwe di atem ne ade ne I'm not saying say be so be free but say obi ka say there is a camper nko betimi kura kadidi atem kura mfi ne camp ne kasa basa kasa ntwitwie hwe na no chama wontimi oso election ye national council ye said that the top down by said the way betimi wi abama Dr. Bawumia like nkofu edi na chi asesa papa no the aura around the campaign
but on so beka ya dan minim say ye greater Accra ha say ono na ye candidate no nti whoever be obi be perceive say o won camp or ye bibi na say itia wo a don't deal with the
was here na ya mo bi amese na bra mo.
So with the individual be na bi or you fan of him na bi or penalty mo ye
ni. Okay FM ha mo ye dwuma yi. Se mo media men na mo ye dwuma yi. Mo koya de bi e de nim gwase beka okay FM a. And despite media ni nyina, we sure say papa despite oba be jina ka tell say hwe na we kana amfa na ne suba amese ma bro, he will sack you. That is the beauty of leadership. Say BC can come. Guy be nobody near friend alestate. No oba no cancer. Now he doesn't have the permission of Ken. Oba you also na me chicha ma untumi on na say na Ken say untumi so onya ma nko face court. Party asem mfanya da ma bonten. Ken pamo ni fi no ho. Papa ye friend no kwaku na asa wan hwani okodi Dr. Bawumia atemi. So no Ken guy be a program bi expose bi o man FM any na two
yeah.
So papa no kwedi Dr. Bawumia atem. The following day na Ken sake no. So that's the difference. What I say, the difference with the two leadership. Yen ka say I don't know na wo say chama wontumi achi ana say na abronya di atemi. There is no way say Bawumia na trust scripts in the man. There is no way. But yes na obi ehunu say won ni penny and na wo beti na kasa ama na tie no. And you stand to benefit from the atemi wo nyina. E de na wo show ye. Wan kasa ho antia na obi abehu say sebi penny yo no. Ebi asin talk akra de wo na say mreyo bi ye de ewum. Sa na gbakwa akoba. Sa na nipa bebre no be de bedwen. Enti eno de free no. But we expect a demonstration of leadership. Say ne also penny no. Nipa smesi and na abono is ni ade. Okwa obono sampa abronyo mko bodu ntutu a na Dr. Bawumia wo ha kire wo chia wo nyina de nyina. If you are losing sampa votes, abronyo no okwa election. On election you will be the repercussions ni effect ni consequences. Wona be count. So ndi wo ye na wan tia na ka say oh me me say wa braba no ne dey ha
wo bi to be expect say nka we dey nka e ko dey e mamon ka won hwe say say o ye bibi na say Bawumia campaign to your advantage nka munye din no onye
oh sebio say ye dey politically a boy but ye what is the end ye no say party na we we na went me we ni no election for so be that so. And there be a cast ideas so busy rich ideas. Yes, the rich ideas are good. But if you don't get somebody who can win power, those ideas never come pass it. Name food trouble home. Yeah, class I'm na no kwa do etieno. Obi o seke obi o timi ka so koyi bi afase won pana so bra. Obe dam pana se obe twe boto anasa kenten na ba. Bi o timi hu sekan bi da ho na bibia bi kura na ya boa bibia no wacheche na de bi e wonto wo se ho ye fin because akampase oh ye nyintimi nye da MPA akwose mpa na anafo kura na tifo baabi and so when you don't bring it out make clean ya efa so bia ni sa de kro so you need the power. Other than that sa ideas ni ade nyina they become obsolete. Ye beja na mpase am mfutu abo ho se me na na bna kwa do bia me wura na mpase na mfutu abose kan no ma egu ho no